Let's bring in Bloomberg best analyst. We're talking about David Burks at Hilliard Lyons. David is a best for his accurate forecasts on AT&T, and he joins us right now on the phone from Louisville, Kentucky. David, good morning.
Good morning, Carol. Pleasure to be with you.
Great to have you here. You've got a buy rating on AT&T stock. Do the earnings that we got this morning justify that rating?
Yes, I think bottom line, Carol, that it looks like a fairly solid quarter that supports our thesis that AT&T remains an attractive stock for income-oriented investors seeking modest capital appreciation.
You know, some of the headlines that caught my attention has to do with the iPhone. We're all wondering, now that Verizon can sell the iPhone, what impact that's going to have on AT&T. So iPhone subscriber churn, they say, was unchanged. iPhone activation increased nearly 1 million year over year to 3.6 million. Are those good numbers in your view?
I think they were perhaps better than expected numbers. However, I think we should also caution that that Verizon was able to begin selling the product in early February, so this doesn't represent a full quarter of competition. Having said that, AT&T was able to add 62,000 postpaid customers or subscribers in the quarter, which was above expectation.
Well, with the iPhone numbers, too, I mean, are these guys, everybody locked into contracts, so it might take a little while before we really, truly see the impact of Verizon?
I think that's a fair assumption. AT&T has certainly been planning and preparing for this event and made great efforts and strides last year to get as many of their subscribers under contract as possible.
It also says that they activated 3.6 million iPhones in the quarter compared with 2.7 million a year earlier. That, again, feels like a very strong number.
It was. So this product is not going away for AT&T. That they remain fully committed to it, and we still think that this product offers significant long-term opportunity, not only for AT&T but for Verizon and the industry in general.
You know, David, we're living in such a wireless world that I think all of us, me included, think, why do I need my landline anymore? But looking at AT&T's revenues, they still get a lot of money from landline services, don't they?
Well, yes, and in fact, that is still a significant cash-generating business for the AT&T and Verizon. In fact, the company still posted strong free cash flow in the quarter as well.
They did. You know, you mentioned that cash flow, first quarter free cash flow of about $3.6 billion. We know they put some of that money to work in March when they made that acquisition of T-Mobile USA. They spent a lot of money, what, $39 billion. They're creating the largest U.S. wireless carrier. That a good move? Is that kind of the big question now in terms of AT&T's future?
It is, and we think it's a long-term strategic positive, Carol, assuming that they can get the deal approved. It will be a stiff regulatory challenge, and the company believe it'll take some 12 months, so perhaps ending next March. In fact, that's one of the things that we will be looking for on today's conference call, how they address that issue. But clearly, we think that acquisition holds significant long-term opportunity for AT&T.
David, any nervousness about whether or not this deal ultimately goes through? I mean, I thought it was kind of interesting on the day that the deal was announced, AT&T shares were higher. You don't normally see that when a company does the acquiring, but obviously investors thought it was a great move. You are pretty confident that the deal ultimately will go through?
We are betting that ultimately it will, Carol. It's certainly possible that they will be required to make some type of divestitures, but we think at the end of the proverbial day that the deal ultimately gets done.
All right, we're going to leave it there. David, thank you so much. We appreciate your time this morning. Bloomberg best analyst David Burks at Hilliard Lyons.